just want to thank the partners in all of this that's been stated: DC Water, the SCU, PEPCO, Urban Ingenuity, NHT, and NOE. And then I also want to give a special thanks to Jennifer, who got this all put together in less than a week. Jennifer Johnston, for my staff. So she did a great job, and just want to acknowledge that she was able to put this together so fast. So the district is a proud participant in the U.S. Department of Energy's National Community Solar Partnership and one of the 5 recipients of the Sunny Award for Equitable Community Solar Grand Prizes. Usually when we get that prize, that money is redirected back to nonprofits in the city, and so we don't necessarily keep the money, but we form it out so that more work can be done by those nonprofits. So it was great to get the award, but what we do with that award is even better. So that's what we plan on doing with that. So, all right, so that's pretty much my spiel. I'm going to pass this along because, again, it's hot out here. So, like I said, great day for solar, but not for me. So I'm thrilled to have Ali Ziadi, Deputy Assistant to the President and Deputy National Climate Advisor with us today. Mrs. Ziadi is a longtime advisor to President Biden, having provided counsel and leadership on climate policy development, legislation, and executive efforts from day one of the administration and on the Biden's presidential transition and campaign. His leadership roles for climate change and energy during the Obama-Biden administration, and as New York's chairman of climate policy and finance and deputy secretary for energy and environment, where he led the state's efforts on climate change and clean energy. So with that, I'll turn it over to him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Great to be here with all of you. This is, when we talk about the climate crisis, we often talk about the surging seas and the hurricanes that have become more frequent and severe. We talk about the wildfires that are burning out west, made more aggressive by a drought condition that's become chronic. We think about the sky turning orange, those images of gloom and doom and despair. But this is what solving the climate crisis looks like. Taking on the climate crisis is not a story of gloom and doom. President Biden has been clear from day one, it is a story of hope and possibilities. An opportunity for us to cut bills for consumers, an opportunity for us to revitalize communities, an opportunity for us to oversee the first renaissance in American manufacturing that we've seen in decades. That has been the president's focus from day one, an investing in America agenda that helps us translate this crisis into the largest economic opportunity we've ever seen. And you guys are doing it, putting the pieces together at the community level. That's where the transformation will take place. It's going to be labor and industry, developers, community members, different agencies actually coming together, working together. And in all of that, this administration will be your partner. We've got the best Secretary of Energy ever, Jennifer Granholm here, Janet McCabe from the EPA, bringing all that they have to bear on this challenge to be your partner. And I think if you went around the cabinet table in the Biden-Harris administration, you'd get everyone to raise their hand if it's a question of whether we can be of service to all of you. I think about the way we're approaching this work, and the conversation about Ward 5 and who this project benefits is such an important one. Core to the climate approach that the president launched from day one has been this focus on environmental justice. He launched this program, Justice 40, which is aimed at delivering the benefits of these investments to communities that have been historically disadvantaged, people left out time and time again. This time, as we build a clean energy economy, those folks who've been facing down the pollution, who've been on the front lines of the climate crisis, they will be our leaders and they will be the ones that benefit. This project is proof that that's not just a pie in the sky concept. It's not a plan on a piece of paper. This is steel in the ground. It's a real project. It's going to make a real and visible difference in the lives of people who live in this community, in the bottom lines of families around the kitchen table. That's the playbook we need to replicate and scale all across the country. So grateful to be able to celebrate this progress with all of you. Investing in America, that's the agenda. That's what's going to tackle the climate crisis, but it's going to be the thing that lifts up people, turn places back on into hubs of economic activity, and build projects like this one that are making a difference in the lives of people all across the country. Very grateful. Thank you so much. Oh, Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm. Woo!
Ali Zaidi, such a, he doesn't have a single note. He speaks with these perfect paragraphs and sets the table so well. So thank you for your incredible leadership. Hello, everybody. My thanks to Dr. Jackson, to everybody from DOEE and DC Sustainable Energy Utility for hosting us. Jennifer Johnston, where are you? You do get a star because our team thinks you are unbelievable for putting this together. So thank you for that. Your whole team. See, a sign of a great leader. We are here ahead of Earth Day, and it's fitting because this programs like Solar for All show that every community and every family can help to save the planet and save money to boot. We know that not every family can put solar on their roof, and many lower income families cannot afford it, and others don't even have the option because they live in an apartment building and they're renters. So here in DC, was it 2 and 3 housing units are rental units, I think, and that includes more than a fifth of the city's single family homes. And so even without their own solar panels, they can channel the power of the sun and cost savings too with community solar like this. We see that with Solar for All. Today, as was said, more than 6,000 low-income DC households have access to solar power thanks to this program, saving families, I heard on average, $500 a year. Is that about right? Which is amazing. Cutting their energy bills in half, and with this installation here at Brentwood Reservoir, the program's going to be able to serve another 500 households. So it's a dazzling success, Solar for All. We at DOE want to see more of it all over the country, which is why we have a bunch of announcements today. We convened this National Community Solar Partnership. We've set this goal of adding capacity to power 5 million homes across the country by 2025 and to generate $1 billion in savings for community solar subscribers. And that's why we're here. We want to show that it can work and that this is a path to that goal. So last year, the partnership launched this competition, which is the Sunny Awards, and that is to highlight the programs that are doing this really well, and programs like DC's Solar for All are one of our grand prize winners from last year. So today we're opening up submissions for a new round of projects. And as I say, we want every community to be able to benefit. So we know that a lot of the barrier associated with community solar is financing. So today we're also announcing that 25 teams have been selected to compete for our Community Power Accelerator Prize. Those 25 teams, which span 16 states plus Puerto Rico and DC, are going to work with DOE's technical experts to develop a project pitch and finance proposal. I think one of them, Groundswell, is here today. Is somebody here from Groundswell? In the back, all right, excellent. Congratulations for being selected. They get a little bit of money up front, they get to work on a plan, they get to compete for a bigger pot of money, and then they get to compete before folks who've really got the money, a $5 billion pool of financial aid for financial project development for projects like this. So we are excited about that. We're excited about community solar. We're also excited about making solar available to homeowners who may not otherwise be able to afford access to rooftop solar as well. In fact, today, another announcement, DOE's Loan Programs Office, I don't think Jigger Shaw is here. but has just announced a conditional commitment for a $3 billion loan to Sonova. Is somebody here from Sonova? All right, Sonova, to bring rooftop solar and storage to more low-income Americans. Dan DeSnyder is here, Vice President of Capital Markets, and super excited because when this loan is finalized, Sonova is going to be able to provide loans to up to 115,000 homeowners across the country, actively targeting communities that face high energy burdens and customers with FICO scores of 680 or less. So folks who might not be able to get access to financing, but to be able to keep it low finance costs for those families. And they'll also give these homeowners access to software that enables them to sell back to the grid, to be part of essentially a virtual power plant. These distributed energy resources, including smart thermostats, et cetera, that allow them to have control of the power that they use and perhaps even make some money in selling it back to the grid. So super excited. These announcements all together, and there are a few more regarding innovation, and I know Becca Jones-Albertus, who is head of our Solar Energy Technologies office right here, is going to say a quick word about that. But we want every family to reap the benefits of healthy communities and lower energy bills, and while they're at it, take pride in saving the planet as well. So there's more big news in the solar space today, and that means I'm thrilled to announce that to bring up Janet McCabe, who's the Deputy Administrator of the EPA, with some exciting EPA version of announcements. Come on.
Big day. Hey everybody, thank you Secretary Granholm and Ali. It's just so great to be partners with you at this amazing, amazing time when the federal government is stepping up in such an awesome way. For those of us that have been working on these issues for decades, working in state government, federal government, local government, we've never had the kind of opportunity that we have right now. And by golly, we better make the most of it, right? And that's what's happening here. Last summer, when President Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act, that provided an unprecedented $370 billion flowing into communities across the country. And speaking on behalf of my agency, EPA, we're responsible for distributing over $41 billion to help tackle the climate crisis, decrease energy costs, boost our economy, create local jobs, and advance environmental justice. And for an agency that's about a $9 billion a year budget, $41 billion sounds like a lot of money. So putting that together with billions of dollars from the Department of Energy, we have this once in a generation or more opportunity to make a difference in communities like this across the country. And we're so excited to do it. I want to talk particularly about a key provision of the Inflation Reduction Act for EPA, which is the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. So $27 billion of our $41 billion goes into an investment fund to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve public health. The first competition will award nearly $20 billion in competitive grants to deploy greenhouse gas and air pollution reducing projects across the country. The second is the Zero Emissions Technology Competition that will make $7 billion available to fund residential and community solar, associated storage, and related upgrades in low-income and disadvantaged communities. And every word in that sentence that I said is important and solid in the law and meaningful, and that is the way we're going to implement this. So we're going to be able to provide grants to 60 grants to states, tribal governments, municipalities, and other recipients to expand the number of low-income and disadvantaged communities that are primed for investment in residential and community solar. These are programs that sometimes are having a hard time getting started in states and communities across the country. And as the Secretary said, enabling millions of families to access affordable, resilient, and clean solar energy and save important dollars to invest in other things to support their families. So I just want to say that again, clean solar energy. I'm from an environmental agency. We care about air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. When we use the sun to generate electricity, we massively reduce air pollution, water pollution, and solid waste like coal ash that contaminate communities across the country. And we do it, some of it we do it in a moment. When you turn off those fossil generating facilities, you immediately make an impact in people's communities. And we take a huge bite out of the emissions of greenhouse gases that are affecting the planet in dangerous and scary ways, increasingly so, as Ali said so eloquently without notes a minute ago. We need so many more projects like this. Investing in clean energy is investing in America. Investing in the health, equity, and resilience of communities across the country is investing in America. And we at EPA could not be more pleased, myself, and of course on behalf of Administrator Regan, to partner with DOE and other federal agencies to fulfill President Biden's vision for our great country. Thank you so much again for including me in this event. This is the nicest thing I'll do all day.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm reminded of a commercial that has this little boy looking out, and his words are, "Wow, it is a great time to be alive." And I'm sitting there and I listen to all of you, and that's the thought that was permeating throughout my body. It's a great time to be alive. And so with that, I am Ernest Jolly. I am the long-serving managing director of the DCSEU. I came on board in January of this year. And so much of what I'll talk about has not been a result of what I have done. It's been a result of a long number of people who are so committed to making a difference. And to all of them, I say thank you. It wouldn't be an opportunity for me to be here if that was not the case. I want to thank all of you who have joined us, Secretary Granholm, Mr. Ali Zaidi, Deputy Administrator McCabe, Director Jackson, Maureen Holman, my former colleague and now my partner across the way here, Chairman Thompson, who heads up our DC Public Service Commission, and all the partner organizations. These things don't happen without good, solid partnerships and with really respectful relationships. And so I'm so happy that we at DCSEU are able to help the district fulfill the district's mission of creating clean energy, achieving aggressive climate goals through community solar projects such as this one, while fostering equity across the spectrum and making sure that we're delivering value to real people and to real communities and to our businesses who are just beginning to find their footing. Since 2011, led by VEIC on a performance-based contract, the DCSEU has worked to make energy efficiency and clean energy more affordable and accessible to the residents and to businesses. Since that time, we have helped more than $1.4 billion in lifetime savings. $1.4 billion. And for a jurisdiction the size of the district, that's a big number. Where I come from, that's a big number anyway, but that's a big number. And so that's the amount of savings that have been created, while at the same time preventing more than 7 million metric tons of lifetime greenhouse gas emissions reductions, and investing more than $50 million in clean energy for low and moderate income. So we've been at this for a while, but what's happening at the federal level just gives us so much of an opportunity to take it to the top of the mountain. I'm incredibly excited to be here to celebrate the achievements of the District Solar for All program, which is designed to benefit renewable energies and to make sure that by 2032, we'll have at least 100,000 residents able to benefit from this type of Solar for All endeavor. We were honored to be recognized as one of the Sunny Award for Equity Community Solars, along with our partners, DOEE. And without that partnership, it would not have happened. And so it is the hard work of organizations that makes things happen. People still make things happen. And so I thank all of you for your contributions in doing that. Since 2019, the DC SEU has worked in partnership with DOE and Solar for All to deliver solar to single-family homes through rooftops, as well as those who cannot take advantage of rooftops to benefit from community solar projects such as this. So the program, the way in which the district envisioned and designed it, really took a comprehensive view of what is possible. And for that, I think those who had the vision to do that deserve a lot of credit. When completed next year, this project will serve, as you've heard, 500 income qualifying residents. And at the same time, it creates an economic boost because we're helping through workforce development build skill sets and working with CBEs to build their workforce so that the people who have been left behind are getting the skill sets to do the work. And we're very excited about that. Working in partnership with local developers and working with developers like Ingenuity, Urban Ingenuity and others, over 180 community solar facilities will be established here in the District of Columbia. And we will continue to work over the next 15 years in particular to make sure that we've got that number continually to increase. For me, it is an amazing opportunity to have my world go full circle. When we first took a walk on this site 4 or 5 years ago, I was the energy chief for DC Water. And I had an opportunity to work inside the organization with Maureen and others, Saul Kenter, one of my colleagues back there, to say, is this possible? And we did not allow what was unknown to stand in the way of doing it. So for me to have the opportunity to be on this side of the transaction is quite an honor. And for that, I think sometimes you just get lucky. But my dad had a saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And so to my dad, I'm working pretty hard, Dad. I just want to again say thank you to each and every one of you who helped make this possible. There's more to come, and I can assure you we have the desire to follow the programs across the nation and be a part of it. Thank you very much.
And this project came out of people in a place with vision trying to make something possible. So that is what the Biden administration, through the IRA and through all of the different measures announced today, the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, these are all ways for the government and for our public collective institutions to invest in the strength of project teams on the ground who know the community and know how to make their community better. And so we can do it with federal leadership, state and local leadership. This is a tremendous opportunity. So I'm here to speak on behalf of this project team. I have notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Urban Ingenuity is my company. We couldn't have done this without the National Housing Trust. This project here is giving a substantial portion of the revenue goes as profit to the National Housing Trust to support their work building affordable housing in the nation's capital and nationally. And so this solar project is throwing off capital that is helping people afford to live in homes. We also are working with DC Water, who are the site host, and they're receiving lease payments from this project. With NHT, we've actually built 6 megawatts of power already in Washington, D.C., and our projects through Solar for All and the D.C. Sustainable Energy Utility are already generating close to $1 million a year of cash, of money back to community partners, low-income residents, and nonprofits, and government agencies like DC Water. We also have a project team. Sunlight General Capital have been incredible, stalwart partners. They came forward to make the capital investments, provide the engineering and technical assistance that makes this very difficult project sitting on top of a capped reservoir that is incredibly sensitive, critical infrastructure, providing drinking water to the citizens of DC. We needed their engineering expertise. Neo Energy are a local business, regionally hiring in the district, Maryland and Virginia, creating good jobs on the ground. And of course, the Solar for All program and DC Sustainable Energy Utility are critical for making these Solar for All funds available. And lastly, we have a mayor and a city council and a Department of Energy and Environment that get it and have gotten it for decades. So we have a policy infrastructure in Washington, D.C., unparalleled in the nation, so that we can build projects like this. Now with the sort of federal leadership coming out of the U.S. Department of Energy, EPA, and the presidential administration and White House, now we can bring what D.C. is very good at already nationally with federal government partners. And lastly, I want to just flag that 500 families in Washington, D.C. will cut their energy bills in half as a result of this project. That means housing is more affordable. That means they can support their families, they can put food on the table. And I want to bring this back to the Inflation Reduction Act. That's real. This is cutting the cost of living for working families through clean energy infrastructure investment. That's what this administration and this community-based project are doing to give back to working people in the National Capital Region. And we're so excited to be part of this team. Last, I just want to close by saying Urban Ingenuity is very excited to be working with Wallace Global Fund and a whole network of philanthropy to bring both philanthropic and private capital to communities. And today we're launching Working Power. The Working Power Impact Fund made a $2.5 million investment into this project. We are now committing to scale to 100 communities to build 100 megawatts of power and $300 million of capital investment nationwide. And I've already mentioned that 4 of the communities we're working with are already in this larger national cohort. So we're so excited to welcome you here. And I just want to close by saying thank you, especially to Ali, because we talk a lot about climate crisis and how we have these negative spirals, how climate creates famine and drought and forest fires, but we can create virtuous cycles too. We can invest in people and jobs and families and clean energy, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's possible in America with sound leadership and vision at a time of national difficulty. There's also a moment of great opportunity. So thank you very much. And I will introduce, I think, Dr. Becca Jones-Albertus from the U.S. Department of Energy.
Thanks so much, Brecken. Yes, I'm Becca Jones-Albertus. I'm the Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for Renewable Power and Director of the Solar Energy Technologies Office at DOE. I have the honor of closing out this amazing event today and getting to just underscore DOE's ongoing efforts to strengthen America's domestic solar supply chain, enable solar technologies to strengthen the reliability and the resilience and security of our nation's grid, and enable all communities to access the benefits coming from this clean energy transition. I get to add on a couple more announcements. This impressive set today. First is $52 million we're spending on 19 projects that DOE has selected. These projects are developing new American-made solar technologies. They're going to enhance our America's solar manufacturing base, and they're also going to support the recycling of solar panel technology. So we're looking to the end of life of these kinds of facilities. Today, we're also releasing $30 million of funding to support the planning and operation of a clean power grid. We can't wait to see what all of these projects achieve. I want to give one more thank you and shout out to our host, DC Solar for All, who you've heard is one of our winners of the first round of our Sunnies Awards, awarding inspiring and amazing community solar projects that are bringing benefits to their local communities. I just want to take the moment to also highlight our other 4 winners of this first round. First one is the Faribault Community Solar Project, led by Cooperative Energy Futures in Minnesota. The Shinnecobutt Community Solar Independent Project, led by Northwest Arctic Borough in Alaska. The Joe for Sun Ashland Community Solar Project, led by Citizens Energy in Massachusetts. And the Community Power Project, led by Solar One in New York. We're really excited for the next projects that we'll get to highlight as well as part of round 2. As Secretary Granholm mentioned, we created the National Community Solar Partnership to enable all American households and businesses to have access to clean energy and its benefits. And we're aiming to deploy enough community solar by 2025 to power the equivalent of 5 million households, saving them $1 billion in savings on their electricity bills. With the Community Power Accelerator and our Sunny Awards, we're that much closer to these goals. So in summary, accelerating solar energy innovation, production, and integration across America is so critical to achieving the Biden-Harris administration goal of a clean energy economy. And we're really excited about the opportunity for all the projects and opportunities here today to contribute to these goals. So I want to thank you all so much for being here with us, and have a great afternoon.